Hello viewers, here is an Arctic Queen air conditioner. It's not Arctic Queen, excuse me, it's Arctic King. Arctic King so-called window type air conditioner, model WWK05CM81N. And this does have the stinking R410 in it, 9.52 ounces. That's why we have the outrageously high pressures. And it's a 5000 BTU model. And it only draws 4 amps, which is not a lot of power at all. And this is claiming to have a SEER of 11. Now they play games with these stupid energy ratings. There's EER, there's CEER, there's SEER. And they all mean different things under different circumstances, and so the number is the higher number is supposedly more efficient, but it's not a super useful scale. And quite frankly, if the thing cools well, I don't care how much SEER or whatever it is. Anyways, that tangent aside, the reason I am recording this is because this was a trash find. This was manufactured in 11 of 2017, so it's probably purchased in 2018, and I found it during the summer of 2019. And this is as found condition, or actually a little bit worse than as found condition. When I saw it, I immediately thought this would be great to use at work. And then when I saw how new it was, I thought certainly it can't work right, because why would somebody toss out a year-old machine that works? So I picked it up anyways, thinking, maybe I could use some parts from it or something. And I plugged it up, and sure enough, it works. It works perfectly fine, and it's not even that dirty. So I took it to work, where I used it for the summer of 2019, and while it's not a great machine, it'll never really make a room cold. It wasn't terrible. The problem with the equipment at work was there was a moisture issue. And it was so bad that you could put a piece of paper on the table and you'd come back in 2 or 3 hours and it would be like shriveled up. It was awful. And I'm not really an air conditioner person. Like I like the machines, I think they're very fascinating, but I don't so much use them very often at all. I like the heat. The humidity doesn't bother me, but this office was just disgusting. Everything was sticky, and it was awful. So I brought this in, and I put this in the window there, and it's a good sized room. I would say it's at least maybe 300 square feet, maybe a little bit more than that. 3 big windows, open door, and several computers, so the heat gain was pretty high in there. And while this machine never got it to be cold, it definitely produced that air conditioner feeling in the room when you walk in from the hallway. It made a big difference. So for what it's worth, it works. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It makes the air colder. Does it work powerfully? No. Will it work for the next 25 years? I highly doubt it. Are there things about it that drive me absolutely nuts? You bet. But at the end of the day, it does what it's supposed to do. So let's go ahead and plug this thing in. It's got this crazy plug on it. I guess this is one of those FCGI or whatever those things are called plugs. Plug this in. Is this off? Yeah, it is off. Okay, I got the kilowatt meter going here. We're testing at 119 volts. And so this has about a year, at least as far as I'm concerned, use on it. I've never cleaned the filter. I literally picked it up from the trash, threw it in the car, and the next day it was in the window at work. Didn't even bring it home. The condenser's kind of dirty. There's some dirt, within the back there, but not much at all. could still see light through the coil. It's not clogged, and it is a little bit dinged up from non-HVAC fluent people handling this throughout the office. You know, but I can fix that in a couple of minutes. It wasn't like that when I got it. It was flawless when I got it. It's really a wonder why somebody would throw this out. And I've used it for 8-10 hours on end, and it hasn't had any problems. So there is no functional issue with the machine. Design flaws that bother me. The register cannot be tilted. That's fine. What's not fine is that it doesn't go up. It goes straight out. And because it's not that powerful, I'm sure a lot of the airs are circulating into the evaporator, which is just a waste. So that's dumb. Side panels are plastic, which the sun ruins. Also dumb. This does not go very cold. It's just barely clicking on. It's 67 degrees in here. Okay, that was a very short cycle on there. Maybe there's something wrong with that too. Well, anyways, this is just barely coming on. Now, I would never use it below 67 degrees. I would barely use it below 80 degrees. So this is not a problem for me, but I know some people like to get it cold, and this just won't do it because of the way this is. And on the older machines, you could calibrate these things and adjust it. I don't know if that's the way this one is or not. It's something I do want to find out. So anyways, let's start off with low fan. I don't know if there's going to be any dirt flying out of this. I haven't used it yet this year. No, not really. A little bit, but not too much. So now it's on. Actually, that output is stronger than I recall. But again, like I can feel it right here. It blows almost down. And it just goes right into the condenser. I mean the evaporator, excuse me. So I don't know, you know, I can feel it right here, and it's just not made right. I don't know if this will show it or not. Kind of shows it, but I suspect, and of course it's not really worth my time to sit here and modify this, but even if you just put like a piece of cardboard on it, and I've seen people do this. I have one right here actually. If you did something like this, it would probably work a ton better. And if I actually end up using this somewhere, which is probably unlikely, what I'll probably do is maybe cut this back halfway and just kind of stick it on there like that. And I suspect that would improve its performance significantly. So that's low, and that's high. I don't like the way this is orientated because it's low fan, low cool, high fan. I'd rather it be low high fan, low high cool, just my personal preference. Can't really complain all that much because it actually has mechanical controls, unlike the majority of the junk that we have on the market now today. So I'll put this into the cooling segment here like that, and we'll engage the compressor. I don't know what those vibrations. There we go. Not a bad sounding compressor. You can kind of hear the gas flowing through there. Fan's got a good spin down time. Alright, let's go ahead and put the fan back on. And I know this isn't a super accurate way to test this, but this is how we're going to do it. The ambient's about 70 degrees. And in there it's about 56. You know, just for purposes of curiosity. let's see how that gets going. I bet maybe even just, probably even just like 2 inches is good enough. It's not perfect, but even that I suspect will probably, oh yeah, that makes a big difference. You can really feel the air, because right now I'm kind of feeling it all the way down here, which is about halfway down the evaporator. And if I put this here, I don't feel that anymore. I feel it up here, which is right in line with the register. So I think this would really make it a lot better. And it's a shame. It's just poor, sleazy design, because all you got to do is, instead of having these registers be straight, you know, use twice the amount of plastic, which is not going to cost that much, and just tilt it up a little bit. That's all. Here we're down to 43, so we've got more than our 20-degree split there. The compressor is kind of loud on this machine. It doesn't sound too, I mean, it's not a nice vintage reciprocating sound, but it's not unpleasant. Of course, that's with the fee installed for a minute. But, you know, like I said, for what it's worth, it works. It does what it's supposed to do. It's just not designed properly. Let's see how the condenser is doing here. There's hardly any air going through this. A little bit up at the top. That's about it. And there we go. The thermostat satisfied. Anyways, now, I guess there's more air moving than I thought there was. See, that's the other problem with this recirculation issue happening. Because of the way this thermostat is, it's reading the air going in there is colder than it really is in the room, because the air isn't moving away from the machine, and it's not satisfying prematurely, and that just, it doesn't happen on vintage machines. Okay, it's going again. In its defense, probably more recirculated because it was blowing against that wall over there, but even so, it was only doing that for, what, 15 seconds? 42. I don't think it'll go much lower than that. But I mean, that's fine. That's, you know, 70. Now it's either 68 ambient to about 40 coming out. That's satisfactory performance. You know, if this was a vintage machine with R22, it'd be coming out 30, 20, but it's not. Condenser's about 90. It's not hot, but it's definitely warm. Let's see if I get a better reading of it this time. And it's satisfied again. So, and even here, this goes to show, if it was going up, it probably wouldn't be doing this, but it's recirculating. You can see it blowing down on the table right there. It's just not made right. So anyways, that's that. The Arctic King, whatever the model number was, very lengthy air conditioner. It's okay. I wouldn't give any money for it, but for free, it'll cool your room. And with this, you know, if you paint this white and stick this on here, I could live with that. It's ridiculous, but it will do the job. So, overall, you know, of course I would choose vintage over this, but is this acceptable? I guess. I don't know what these retail for. I certainly wouldn't spend any amount of money on this because I just don't think it's going to last that long. If nothing else, the condenser is going to rot out and then it's going to leak. Because what happens is, and you can see the channels in there for the water. The intention is for water to pool up in the condenser there and cool the condenser in addition to the air. And in some respects, that's kind of a brilliant concept because you're using water that's there to make the cooling process more efficient. But on the other hand, it's so dumb because it's just going to rot the condenser. It's not worth the extra cooling. So, anyways, that's that. I will take this apart and clean and service it. I don't have a use case for this right now, but perhaps someday I will, or I can loan it out to somebody who does. Thank you for watching.